Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So, oh, um, one second. One second. I asked what this conversation was going to be about, and I heard, I heard, I heard a major realization has been reached. So there's something or someone coming to terms with a situation involving you, whatever that something or someone is coming to terms with. I hope that it's in your best interest and that your needs are respected, considered, and honored. All right. So I'm almost ready. Final deck that I'm going to be pulling cards from. Oops. Okay. I want to take a nap. I don't know about you guys, but I want to take a nap. I do. Okay. All right. Let's get started. Ooh. I'm being made to feel that you guys need some personalized information as well. I don't know what that means. Oh, okay. There is a process that was initiated. This is intense. This is like super intense because, all right, we're already in summertime, right? Whatever this process is, it began in spring. This past spring, someone has been coming to some type of realization. I'm wondering if it's you. I'm wondering if it's someone connected to you, someone who maybe wants to be connected to you. I don't know. But whatever that process is, it's intended to bring to an end toxicity, things that haven't been serving either one of you. Wait, is it just you or is there someone involved? 3 people involved. Oh, this is a third party circumstance. Look at these. 1, 2, 3. 3 jack-o'-lanterns. There's 3 involved. Okay, so this individual represents you. And then I'm assuming someone's in a relationship and there's a third person that these two have been really relying on to shed light on something about you. Oh, Jesus loves me. Oh, yes, he does. Jesus loves me. Oh, yes, he does. So whoever this person is that everyone is kind of going to about you, like these two are talking to this person, I think separately from each other. They're speaking to this person and this person is acting as though they're an expert on you. And let me tell you. I don't like that kind of shit. I don't. I don't like that at all because I don't even think that person knows you because you're not even the same fucking species. They're a pumpkin. Ooh, wait till it hits midnight. I don't know who this is about. I don't know who this is for, but I don't like that kind of crap. Someone talking so much about you as though they know you and they don't know you. Let's just breathe it out. Let's breathe it out. Breathe it out. You're largely unaware of whatever this is. I'm thinking, because look. This guy right here, that guy right there, right? They're in a relationship with this guy right here. So we have these two. So these two, this guy is already done with this caca. They're starting to realize things on their own. This one is still kind of like behind and whoop, 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 whoop. Oh, tell me. So sounds like drama. I'm over it. It's just, whatever. You're unaware of what this is. Like, I think you're unaware of the conversations that are being had about you. Is that Lily of the Valley? Let me see. Lily of the Valley. What does that look like? Lily of the Valley. Lily of the Valley. Oh, it does look like that. Oh my gosh. Okay, what's the spiritual meaning? Spiritual meaning. Okay. Purity, humility, and the return of happiness. Oh, you're surrounded by that potential, but it's not something that's been coming through. Why? Because you're dealing with fucking pumpkins. What the fuck? You're dealing with pumpkins. I'm trying to remain in a neutral space of observation. It's really difficult right now. So it represents innocence, sweetness, and the delicate beauty. It can convey sentiments of love, happiness, and hope for a long and happy marriage. So this is someone that you have some type of soul connection with. This is someone you have some type of soul connection with, and whatever's happening, it's gone upside down, probably because these half rotten ass pumpkins keep involving themselves. I don't know. I don't know if you want to be involved in any of this, because for me, this is very nonsensical. It is. So, okay, I see someone has written it's you, your partner, and mother-in-law. Here's my logic when it comes to in-laws. Technically, through marriage, they're your family. If they don't treat you like family, then you kind of need to just step back from that. And the one in that partnership who actually is biological family needs to be the one to speak up. And if that person is not speaking up and enforcing the boundaries, then what are you in a relationship for? That's kind of just, that's kind of just my logic. That's very much my logic. So now comes this need for you to understand what you're allowing your energy to be exposed to, what you are in some way, shape, or form giving passive permission to be dragged into. And of course, my opinion is very cut and dry because I'm not in the situation. People can say like, oh, but it's complex. Okay, but I'm not part of that. So I don't take those things into consideration. My view on things is very cut and dry. Very, very cut and dry. I think what needs to happen is whoever is the one that's connected to that source of conflict, that source of drama, they need to be the one to address it. The two of you need to come together and have a conversation. Now, if this is someone who you have some type of soul connection to and you guys don't speak to each other, I mean, why do you have to deal with this if you don't even speak to each other? I think this is something that's happening on an energetic level. I think with all of this cock-a-doodle-doo, because it is cock-a-doodle-doo, with all of this cock-a-doodle-doo, you've kind of just, you've moved forward. You're living your life and you're not bothered. You're not bothered. It is something that your soul is helping you to kind of be aware of to some degree. And I think probably part of the reason why you have to be aware to some degree is because the energetics of it is affecting you in some way, shape, or form. You might be picking up on some of that struggle, some of that strife that the other person is dealing with. All you need to know is that you're protected from that. You're not needing to involve yourself. You're not needing to be totally immersed in whatever that is. Now, this person's watching you. They're feeling you. They're sending their little tentacles. That's not a good sign. Are they breached? Is that what it is? Hold on. I need to ask, should we ask Bish or should we ask Baby Cakes? Who wants to play? Okay, it's Bish. Baby Cake stayed in the box. Baby Cake's like, I'm not part of this. Bish. Did I go to the gym today? Yes. Did I have fun at the gym today? No. Accurate. So Baby Cake's serious question here. Whoever this person is, are they watching very intensely? Yes. Are they watching because they're realizing? Oh, no, I don't want to know that question. So they are watching you. Bish. Are they simply watching via energy, like they're feeling? They're just feeling you. They're not actively seeking. Bish is like, no, you don't even have to finish your question. Bish is like, no. Okay, so Bish, sorry to drag you into this. Bish. So are you saying that whoever this person is, they're actively scouring social media and other platforms for any information on you? Bish is saying yes. For what though? For what? If they want information on you, and this is just my logic, they should ask you. Is that really like cutting edge advice? I think that's common sense, isn't it? Like if they want information about you to see how you're doing, where you're at in life, shouldn't they ask you? I mean, I don't know. To me, that's common sense. To me, that's what you do. You ask the person directly, right? So they're over here and they're very, very curious about you, how you're doing. Maybe what they're looking for is potentially how they can fit into your life. Is this the same person that keeps going back and forth about they should reach out to you and then they shouldn't and then they should and then they shouldn't? Because, I mean, aren't we over that? Aren't we over that? Isn't that something that we let go of? What is the biblical meaning of lily of the valley? God's provision. Okay. Oh, Yesh is sometimes referred to as the lily of the valley in the Song of Solomon. Well, let's see. What is the Song of Solomon? Oh, the Song of Songs. Okay. So the book explores the depths of human desire and the beauty of a loving relationship, and it also points to the ultimate desire for union with God. Hmm. Huh. So the lovers in that song seek to be close to each other. Ew. So I'm assuming the two of you seek to be close to each other, but y'all can't say it. Just say it. Okay. So that's what it is. You guys are mirrors of each other. Y'all can feel each other, yet you don't want to have a conversation. Okay, that's fine. That's valid. That's valid, but you understand that so long as you continue to do this song and dance with each other, one of you is going to need to take responsibility, or it's going to continue. It's just going to be a cycle, cycling in, cycling out, cycling in, cycling out. Okay, if you were to ask me what you should do in this, I don't know if you'll like what I say, because I, again, am very cut and dry in my perception of things. If it's not mutual, if it's not a reciprocated thing where the amount of effort you put into connecting is not returned back, that's kind of a sign to move forward. That's how I see things. That's how I see things. you know? She's very jealous in my relationship with her son. Who is? Oh, in your relationship? Sounds like the issue is her son. Sounds like the issue is her son. Because she wouldn't be an issue if her son didn't allow her to be an issue. Sorry to throw the son under the bus, but if you stand in the middle of the road and the bus is honking and it's coming down the street and you refuse to move, you're going to get run over. That's just kind of how it is. That's how it is. So here is, so there's no context. All right. Alchemy. So, Oh, Michael has an analogy. He says, do we get angry at the wind for the draft that keeps entering the house, into the house? Or is the anger needing to be focused on the person who keeps holding the door open? That was so much more poetic than what I said. Do we get angry at the wind for the draft that enters the house? Or should we redirect our attention to the very individual who keeps holding that door open? So if we're looking at this circumstance here, remember we were talking about the pumpkins, like there's 3. So whoever this is, they're already in a relationship of some kind and they keep going to someone else to talk about you. I say, Jesus loves me. I want to say bad words. I want to say sentence enhancers and speak very colorfully. I say forget them all. Forget them all. I'm telling you, I'm at a point in my life where I just don't have the time, the patience, or the desire to play these games with people. I'm just like, forget all of you. So it is what it is. Something needs to be alchemically changed. And alchemical change is not just change, it's a very specific type of change. It's a type of change that can, it can be very beneficial, but it also sometimes can be something very detrimental. The key difference between alchemical change and all other type of change is that alchemical change cannot be reversed. It's like when you take an egg and you scramble it and then you cook it on the stove, that can never become a liquid egg again. It will never again be the egg white and the egg yolk separated. That is alchemical change. When you take all of these ingredients and you mix them together and then you bake it and turn it into bread, it will never again separate into those separate ingredients. So this change that needs to be initiated, maybe you're the one that's needing to come to some really major realization. You're trying to take something that's already been baked in the oven of anger and you're trying to bring it back to its individual ingredients and be like, oh, maybe I can start over. Okay. I don't know. I'm angry. This is making me angry. Alchemical change has already occurred. It's already occurred. You're never going to go back to that point where the options that you chose are no longer chosen. Like they're undone. All you can do at this point is decide what you're going to do with that bread because you're never going to have those ingredients again. You're never going to have the opportunity to select the things that now you're realizing, I should have done it this way instead. The gift in that is you realize that you're not going to do it that way again. And maybe that just needs to be, maybe that just needs to be what it is, that realization, that awareness, right? Because really, I mean, Now you have bread. Are you just going to throw it away? This bread is so yummy. It is so yummy. Don't waste it. Don't waste it. Turn it into a sandwich. French toast. Oh, Lord. French toast, Texas toast. Parmesan Texas toast. Yo, that's so good. I can't eat any of those things. Oh, maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's the thing. Oh, shit. So maybe they're the bread, right? Maybe they're the bread, or you're the bread. Maybe you're the bread. And now they can't ever have you again. Because I don't know, allergies or whatever it is. They can't ever have you again. And so now, do y'all understand how deep I can go into bread? I can think about bread all mother effing day. Like, ugh, it is so good. I would toast it and then crumble it and use it as like panko. Oh my God, I would coat the shit out of chicken and beef and everything. I'd deep fry it. You could do all kind of shit with that. Oh my God. I can't have bread though. It'll kill me slowly, literally. It will cause my brain to swell. I literally can't have that. I'm not even play. I can't even play around with that. I can't even have even traces of it. Do you know how like valuable bread is? Like, are you kidding me? I'll even take the end slice. I will settle for the end slice. I'm just saying. Maybe that's how they are with you. Maybe you're the bread. They can't have you now. They want you so bad. Ugh. Let's just breathe. But see, I can have other types of bread. And if I'm going to spend all this time fixating on the type of bread that I can't have, what good is that going to do? I'm just punishing myself. I can make all sorts of different types of paleo bread. I have all these recipes that I created. See, stepping into a space of creation and accepting what you can no longer have is just what you can no longer have, and moving forward from that. I have all kinds of different types of paleo bread. All kind of different types. Am I deprived? No. I just need to accept what is no longer acceptable for me and my health. And maybe that's the thing. Maybe you've changed. Maybe they've come to the realization they can't have the version of you that existed when you were first interacting. But now you're no longer interacting, and they're realizing like they can't have that. It's not healthy for them. But as they're viewing you, they see that you're no longer glutinous bread, you're paleo bread, no grains involved, no grains. And now they're like, oh, I mean, I don't know. I think they're realizing something pertaining to you. And this doesn't necessarily have to be something romantic. This can be someone who was a really good friend at some point. And then maybe your paths diverged, and now you're both kind of leveling out in a similar space of awareness, maturity, understanding, and acceptance. And maybe there's an alignment that can take place for the two of you, not necessarily to reignite some type of romance. It doesn't always have to be about romance. Like, my gosh, you guys, it's not always about romance. Oh my goodness. Did you know the connectivity that you crave when you are physically intimate with someone is typically not about physical intimacy? You're craving a depth of energetic, emotional, and mental connection. And most people will misunderstand that desire for depth of connection as simply a primal urge involving fornication. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. It's like when you consistently misunderstand your brain trying to tell you you're dehydrated. So you'll start snacking and snacking and snacking because it registers as hunger rather than thirst. If you get down to the root of what it is you actually need, oh, that's what they're experiencing. You're at the root of what they actually need. You're at the root of it. They're realizing that. They thought you were merely a twig or a branch on this tree that they call their life. And it's like, whatever, I'll grow a new branch. They're failing to realize you're the taproot. You're that one specific root that digs deeper, that creates a potentiality for depth of connection and grounding with the earth and with their existence. They misunderstood or miscalculated. Yeah. Oh, I'm feeling snarky. Let me just move forward. Girl, if you start acting in the way that you want to act right now and saying the things that you want to say, Jesus is not going to love you. Jesus is not going to love you, so behave. Just behave. The things that I want to say. I'm trying so hard. I'm trying so hard to behave. Okay. Preservation. Allowing yourself to realize when you've been completely depleted and what you're holding on to is no longer feasible. Because why? Because you have nothing left to give. There's nothing left to take from you. And you're simply holding on to that for what? To preserve something that's been long and gone. Oh, long gone, not long and gone. It's something that's been long gone. You're holding on to an idea that you fell in love with. Oh, this is for the other person. So they're holding on to that half rotten ass pumpkin. I tried. Okay, I'm going to go back to behaving. Whoever this is for you, they're holding on to this thing that has been rotting for quite some time. And all the fruit flies are there already. And they can't deny that this is done. It's done. Those two other pumpkins, they want to prolong this. They want to try and make it work. I, the Lord of sea and sky, I have heard my people cry. I have wept because I don't know what y'all are doing with your lives. Y'all need to do something else with your lives, because holding on to rotten things is not going to make it rot less or reverse in its state of rot. It's just not. It's not. Either both of you are going to choose to move forward from whatever that is, or you're not. So there's something that's interfering, right? Whatever this is, it's trying to cause repulsion. It's trying to repel. It's trying to keep the two that need to actually communicate apart, like separate. And again, you're not going to change what's happened. There's no invitation to revise the events that have created the current circumstance. It's like whoever this is, it's either them or I don't know, but they're trying to just coddle a little demon Harita. Just look at that dress. It's just like, oh, you just need a nap. You just need a snack. We'll put you back in the egg and we'll tape the egg together. That motherfucking little monster is out. It's out. Like, you're not undoing this. This is not going to be undone. I don't know who I'm talking to at this point. And then there's this other layer of messaging. So whoever this person is, they're trying to ever so gently soothe this green-eyed monster. This is is this a person that they maybe were in a relationship with that is aware of you and they're so fudging jealous of you? We're sorry. We're sorry that you're jealous. Okay, anyways. So whoever this is, they're super duper jealous of you. And maybe they're just holding on to the relationship with bloody mother freaking fingernails because they know that this person is going to go running right straight to you. I would be like, with my broom, go away, stray cat. Go away, tomcat. Y'all, this is messy. This is super messy. I don't know. Y'all can do whatever you want with your lives. I'm of the mindset that once I walk away, you no longer exist, baby boo. You just don't. I wouldn't. I would not pick that back up. I would just leave it alone. I'd be like, oh, good for you. I'm so glad you're healing. I'm so glad you're free. Congratulations on your liberation. I gotta go now, okay? Thank you. Thank you for updating me on your life. That's lovely. That's lovely. I don't know what y'all are doing, but whatever this is, there's no more time to play around. There's no more time. There's no more time to allow yourself to continue with whatever this like mental gymnastics is being done. I don't know. I don't know. It's nice to be flexible, but it's kind of ridiculous to make it a goal to be a contortionist when you know damn well you're not that flexible. You're exposing yourself to the potentiality of injury. Like, here's my thoughts. If you can't love and adore me while I'm simply sitting here, while I'm just standing up straight, and you need me to pretzel myself and all kind of different crazy ass things that you want me to do to what? To prove to you that we're compatible. Baby, we stop talking because we're not compatible. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But if you need to have a conversation so that we can both kind of move forward from whatever that thing was, that whatever happened back there, then let's have a conversation. But whatever this is, I don't know what you guys are entertaining. Here's the ultimate logic, okay? For me, ultimate logic for me, my ultimate logic. If you are not willing to tolerate these things and the person that you're with is willing to adjust and modify their behavior so that it's no longer offensive, then there's something left to work out there. Now, if you're needing to just completely change yourself into, I don't know what, now it's kind of like a character, a caricature, what are you doing? That's not love. That's obsession. That's obsession. Mm. So, perspective. I have a very different perspective than most people. You see, when someone is trying and they continue to try, and it's been a prolonged, protracted effort, and there's no acceptable results that are being produced through that effort, I'm going to have to be the strong one with the clarity. And I'm going to be like, okay, it's okay. Stop trying already. You can't do it. Stop trying. It's okay. It's time for us to just stop. Because after a certain point, it's kind of like, isn't it kind of a selfish thing on our end if we continue to watch the person we claim to love try and fail and 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 try and is that the rhythm of our life at this point? Because it sounds like we've normalized something that is so unsatisfactory, that is so below what we need. So now, is it a case of you're trapped in the same loop, this cycle, this echo chamber of the same unhappiness? Now, if there's effort and there's slow progression, that's still progression. But if there's effort and no progression, effort and no progression and effort, I'm kind of like, okay, do we not have the proper perspective for what we're witnessing? Do we refuse to see that this is a misaligned connection? And just because of the length of time that we have been in this misalignment, that we're now going to commit to remaining misaligned while we complain and make ourselves and make them miserable. And I don't know if whoever these cards are talking to is miserable. I don't know that. I'm just trying to offer different ways to view the circumstance that's being presented so that maybe you can come to some degree of conclusion as to how much more you need to wait, how much more needs to be tried, because right now there's no context as to why any of this even matters at this point. There's no context. To me, the saddest thing is not when a long-term relationship ends. The saddest thing is when that relationship ended years ago, but we both still continue to hold on. And now we have solidified that we are committed to being unhappy together for the rest of our lives. That is sad. And it's not that your happiness matters more than anything and everything. It's that, why can't you see that you're both unhappy if that's the case? Because if that misalignment is something that is creating so much unhappiness that it's interfering with your progression, your ascension mechanics, that really needs to be looked at deeply. It's something that you need to come to a realization of what you are actually doing, not what your intent is. You know, we can intend so many beautiful, beautiful things, but the way we go about trying to accomplish those intentions, if that is hurtful and harmful, we need to kind of reevaluate exactly what it is we're doing. For many people, we don't really know what we're doing at this point. And that's not a bad thing. It's not the best thing, but it's not a bad thing, because once you're able to realize and admit to yourself that you don't know what your objective is, you don't know what you're trying to accomplish. You've just kind of been stuck in this space of doing the same thing, being angry, Band-Aid on top, being angry, Band-Aid on top, being angry, Band-Aid on top, right? That never actually fixed the wound. If you've lost track of what it is you're doing and you realize it, that's a very powerful space, because now you've asked the right question. What am I doing? And once you ask the right question, you can begin going through the process to get the powerful answers that will help to guide you for the next part. And I think that's what's needing to happen. Sometimes relationships continue in the way that they're going in a very toxic way, where neither person's needs are met, for as long as it takes for one of them to really like, listen, this is the make it or break it part. We're either going to figure this out and get to a point where we both feel peace within the decisions that have been made, or we're needing to walk away from each other because we can't continue in the same space. And I'll tell you guys, the really strong relationships that are very healthy and last for a very long time, if not the entire lifetime, you'll get to that point several times within that relationship. And every time it reaches that point, both make the same degree of intense effort to correct what needs to be corrected. When it's just one person correcting something and the other person kind of just like, you have to, that shit's never going to work. I mean, you could hold on with bloody fingernails for as long as you want, but it's never going to work. It's never going to become something that is a happy pairing. It's just not. So now we have to come to a point, whoever this is about for you, which type are you guys? Is this something that, when that difficult conversation is now taking place and you're like, listen, we've tried for so long, it hasn't produced any of the results that we need. What are we going to do from here? Because we can't continue this. You're unhappy, I'm unhappy, we're starting to hate each other, if that's the case. And like, are we both going to put an effort into salvaging this? Because don't just say yes if you're not really into it. Because the moment I see you're not really into putting the effort and I'm putting the effort, it's done. That's a deal breaker. It's done. And there's no more discussion that needs to take place. Again, I'm very cut and dry. I'm very, very cut and dry. I will never waste your time. I will never make you feel like I feel something for you that I don't. You will always know where you stand with me. Because if I don't like you, baby boo, you gonna fucking know. Ooh. You're gonna freaking know. You're gonna know. I will never be fake with people. I'll be like, what are you doing here? Seriously. I will not agree to something that I don't want to put all of my effort into. I won't. That's not how I function. That is not how I function. And that's why I don't deal with that type of stuff. So, no, it's not this thing of I always get my way with my husband. We've been together for 26 years. I think we're going on 27 at this point. I don't always get my way with my husband. But now we're at a point in our relationship where it's like, if I don't like the way you're speaking to me, just the tone, because I'm sensitive AF, yo. I'm Pisces and I'm sensitive. Don't breathe wrong around me, because I will take it the wrong way. So I will ask, why did you breathe like that? Like, what's wrong? And it's just not one breath. It's going to be like, oh, you're consistently like, what? Why are you breathing like that? Right? And then that opens the door for conversation to take place. And sometimes it's something I did. Sometimes it has nothing to do with me. And they just need support. They need to be able to process out loud with me. Just like if I have an issue with something, then I will say something. That's all you can do. And if the love is mutual, both will put the effort into making sure the other, their needs are taken into consideration. But you have to say something, and it has to be very clear. It's not a threat, it's a communication. Like in the car, we were driving earlier, and my husband, he's like, man, I can't stand that guy. I was like, what guy? He goes, you know what guy I'm talking about. Why are you speaking to me like this? I don't know who you're talking about. And he's like, the guy with the jump rope. Oh, I know who you're talking about. He's like, I told you, you know who I'm talking. Don't raise your voice at me. I didn't know who you were talking about at first. So the conversation continues. I've made clear, like, hey, I'm super sensitive today. Watch your tone with me, please. Conversation continued. That need was communicated, and then the conversation continued. It's not this thing where we need to have a dragged out fight with each other because they don't want to take accountability. Like, oh, you're just being sensitive. Like, no, you did something. You did something. Does that mean you're a bad person? No. It just means I need to let you know, like, this is how it's affecting me today. You're not the same person day in and day out. You know that, right? Every day, every moment of the day, you become a different version of yourself. I went to the gym exhausted. 30 minutes in, I was hyped. I was like, yeah, yeah. And then about 45 minutes in, I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. We'll go home. Hour and a half in, you got it, girl. Just a little bit more, just a little bit more. You become a different person with every thought, everything you're considering, the emotions, even down to how much glucose you have running through your bloodstream. And I knew that's why I was having those swings while I was working out. I was running out of fuel. And then I have a little bit more and I'm properly motivated again. It's the same thing with relationships. It's the same thing with romantic relationships, platonic relationships. You need to be able to gauge what it is you both need in that moment. And if your needs are consistently being worked on over a prolonged period, but there's no progress, babe, there is a very high likelihood that person, and I don't even want to look at the camera, but there's a very high likelihood that person is simply pacifying you. They don't actually value what you are saying you need from them. They don't agree with it and they don't value it. They are invalidating it, but they don't want to say it to you. So they'll be like, okay, now I get it. Don't tell me you get it if you don't get it. And what I sometimes do when I feel like they're not actually listening to what I'm communicating regarding my needs and my expectations of whatever that circumstance is, they're like, no, I get it. Okay, tell me what I just told you. What am I trying to tell you? And that says a lot. What they answer says a lot, because it tells me whether they've been listening and whether what they're hearing, if they've been listening, is actually what you're communicating, or if they're filtering it through their own trauma filters. Because if you're going to filter something through your trauma filters, most likely there's going to be a pronounced distortion between what I'm communicating and what you're receiving. And no, I'm not always right. I'm talking about that misalignment. Coming to a profound realization, it needs to be communicated. Whatever you're realizing about yourself and your journey, that needs to be communicated. And maybe for some of you, your soul has been communicating, but you've just kind of become impatient with the process. You've been dealing with it for a while, and it's just kind of something where you're like, ugh, what am I even doing anymore? That's a powerful question. What am I even doing anymore? Because for some of us, we get so comfortable complaining when solutions are not implemented the first time, and then the second time that we say there's an issue, And then we keep saying and saying. At what point does you communicating become you nagging? Like for me, and again, I don't want it to be received as though I think I'm perfect. I'm simply sharing publicly my characteristics, my personality, these traits that I have, this perception that I have about my personal life. I tell you once and you don't do it. Okay, maybe you didn't hear me. I'll remind you once and you still ignore it. Okay, there's an issue here. Either you don't value my need as much as you're trying to tell me you do, or you're actively ignoring and disrespecting my request. And it's not that you have to do what I say, it's that if you don't feel like doing it right now, if you don't agree, you need to say that to me. I'm autistic, literally. I literally am. So I don't play these games with people. I'm very direct. It's like, hey, I need you to please take out the trash. Okay. 15 minutes later, 30 minutes later, the trash is still there. Did you hear me about the trash? Yeah, oh yeah, I heard you. I'll do it in a minute. Are you really going to do it? Yeah, I'll do it. Okay. 30 minutes later and it's still there. You best believe that's going to be a completely different approach that I'm going to, because I don't like to nag. That next 30 minutes that passes, if that's still there and there's an urgency in my request, that will not be approached with, oh, why is the trash? It'll be like, what the actual fuck? Are you gonna fucking bring the trash out? Or do I need to do it? Don't fucking waste my time because this shit has been sitting here for a very long time. So if you're not gonna do it, let me know. You don't like me talking like that. Be upfront with me. Hey, I'm in the middle of doing something. Give me like an hour. Or if you can't wait, maybe someone else can take the trash out. Okay, what you doing? That's my response. Okay, what you doing? Oh, I'm doing this and this. Okay, I'll go see if someone else can take out the trash. There's no problem. But don't fucking play with me. Don't play with me. I have limited time in the day. Don't tell me you're going to do something and then completely disregard it, because you know what happens? And this is why it really upsets me, because of the way my brain functions, and I'm aware of the way my brain functions. You do that to me enough, in my eyes, you are branded a fucking liar. And I can't stand liars. That's why. It's not because you didn't do it when I told you to. It's now. I can't trust you. You say things you don't mean. You don't follow through. You're a fucking liar. What else are you lying about? What else are you lying about? And I know that's the way my brain functions. So all you have to do is let me know, like, hey, I'm in the middle of something. I'll tell one of my older kids, hey, could you do this for me? It's a chore. Mom, I'm in the middle of something. Okay, no worries. Let me see if one of your brothers can do it. No problem. No worries. And I genuinely mean that. No worries. There's how many of us in this house? No worries. But don't play games with me. Maybe the realization has more to do not with what they're doing, but what it has less to do with what they're doing and more to do with the ways in which you are enabling. And this is not about fault. This is about recognition of how you're contributing to the continuation of a circumstance that's making you unhappy. Maybe the ways in which you're communicating that need is not being received in the way you think it's being received, in the way that you're intending for that to be received. Because if that's the case, there needs to be communication. There needs to be an awareness that is clearly expressed regarding your expectations, and it has to be reasonable. It's regarding your expectations and their follow through. If you tell me straight up you can't do something, you don't want to do something, okay. And it's not, okay, I see how it is. That's, stop. No, they don't do that. It's like, okay. But if you consistently are too busy to assist me, I'll receive that as a very clear message. I'm not high up on your list of things that are important to you. So maybe I need to reevaluate my actual position in your life. And again, that's not a threat. It's like, okay, am I into this more than you are? Because I mean, like, what's happening here? It has to be reciprocated. It has to be reciprocal. No, none of that unrequited love stuff where, oh, if I love you enough, you'll love me back. No, it's either we really like each other and that's going to grow into a space of love for each other, or, it's good hanging out. I got to go now. I'm very cut and dry when it comes to connections. When you start showing me that my needs are kind of like inconsequential to you, okay, I'll believe that. No, I won't bring it up. Why? Because I don't ever want to be made to feel as though I need to convince you to see my value. If you can't see it, if you don't want to see it, that's okay. That's okay. Why? There are billions of people in this world. One of them is bound to see what I'm so desperate and hurt that you can't see. And it's not about replacing people, it's about the reality. That's the reality. And some of you might be like, but Emmy, this is like such a long-term relationship. Like, I can't ever have this again. Babe, you're not even happy in your relationship. I think that's the whole point of breaking up, so you don't have that anymore. It's so you don't have that anymore. Because if that's what you still want, why are you breaking up? I'm not about ultimatums. I'm not about these empty threats. If I say I'm going to do something, I promise you I will do it. Very cut and dry. I will never say something that I will not do. Even as toddlers, my children know this. I don't make this empty threat of, if you do that again, I'm going to spank you. Because if I say that and they do it again, oh my fucking God, I have to spank them. And I don't want to. I don't want to. So what do I say? Hey, if you do that again, I'm going to feel like you're completely being disrespectful towards me. And that's going to make me feel some type of way. So if you respect what I'm asking you to stop doing, you're going to need to stop. There's no threat. There is simply a communication of, this is how your actions and words are affecting me. And if you're going to continue to do that, this is how it's going to make me feel. And if that's not how you want me to feel, then you should stop that. Because if you're going to continue that, then I'm going to feel that. And then there's going to be an issue. What's the issue? I'm going to feel some type of way towards you. I'm going to feel some type of way towards you. And if you make me feel that type of way towards you enough times, I'm not going to feel anything towards you. My children are immune from this. They're the only humans on this earth who are immune from this. They can do whatever the hell they keep doing. And I will just keep being like, ooh, ooh, I fucking love you. They don't do that kind of stuff though. They don't. Why? Because they've existed in environments where things are clearly communicated. And maybe that's the root of the issue. Maybe that's the aha moment, right? Do you not know how to navigate your life because you've never been taught about your internal compass? Ooh, that's huge. Is that what it is? If you don't know that you have an internal compass, there's no way you could ever exist as a free spirit. Why? Because You're bound to other people's limitations. You are shackled to what other people say you have permission to do and don't have permission to do. Oh, that's huge. And if you need to continue to wait for something external from you, excuse me, to validate you, you're going to be completely incapable of recognizing your self-worth. I know this because I've struggled through this most of my life. I grew up in a chaotic, strict household. And with that, there were so many limitations that were placed on me, but there was no real guidance as to how to navigate those limitations. There were just heavy-handed consequences. And because of that, I did not learn how to navigate that. I had my own internal compass. It became something where rather than recognizing I'm being provided internal direction from soul, it became this thing of rebellion. I will fight. I'll fight to be heard. I'll fight to be free. I will fight, 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 fight. And when I ran out of people to fight with, I began to fight myself. Oof, that was a rough patch. That lasted, I would say, 3/4 of my life. Actually, more than 3/4. I would say maybe 7/8 of my life, because I've only become the version of me that you see right now in the last couple of years. Yeah. Still waiting for people outside of me to give me permission to exist. Still waiting to be validated by others and having this fear that maybe I am demonic. Demons don't want to help people. Demons want to dominate. And I've never wanted to dominate. How can I be a demon if I don't behave like one? But you blah, 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 blah. You know, there was this realization that I came to a couple of years back, and it really helped to ripen this developing understanding that I was in process of. For some people, you're raised by a monster so you can learn how to fight them without becoming one. So people identify this highly developed skill set that I have of being able to withstand conflict without losing myself. And they see it as something that it's not. Is that for me to carry on my shoulders? No. No. That major realization, like, oh, because I'm not easy to bully, I'm a demon? Oh my God, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Oh, that's nuts. Because I know how to fight with demons and I win every single time. I'm suddenly one of them. Oh, that's hilarious. They don't like me. The demons don't like me. That includes the human demons who want to dominate others, but I'm in the way of that. Why? Because I keep telling you, you're fucking powerful on your own. You don't need to listen to other people. That what you need to do is listen to your soul, and that comes from the inside. And the whole point of all of my videos, my entire life has been fucking documented for the last nearly 10 years. Why? To serve as external confirmation for conversations you've already had with your soul. Not because I am advanced and I am instructing you, but because, hey, didn't your soul say that to you last week? Okay, why didn't you listen? Why did you not listen? Why did it take me regurgitating the same words? And you're like, oh my God. I was just thinking this last week. Okay, well, you're being guided. You're so right. I mean, no, I'm not guiding you. It wasn't me guiding you. I'm saying like you already received the message, but you didn't allow yourself to receive it in a space of awareness. So now your soul is like, cross paths with this girl. She's going to repeat the exact same thing that I said. And then you're going to take it in because, ooh, resonance. I've heard this somewhere. I thought this at some point. Yeah, that's it. That's all I do. That's all I do. Serve as an external confirmation for an internal conversation that you've already had with your soul. That's why I don't take credit for people's lives changing. I can facilitate that because I have a lot of things to say. I say a lot. I think a lot. I say a lot. It is what it is. But what you do with what I say, that's all on you. And it takes that action that you put behind the developing understanding that might have been at some point triggered by something I said. It's you. You're changing it. You're changing your life. It's you. So once you begin walking your truth, what happens? What is it that happens once you begin walking your truth? You begin recognizing what you want wants you to. If you want to continue to stay in a space where you feel like you're suffering and being punished and being disregarded, tossed to the side and unvalued, then that's what you'll have because you'll choose to stay in those spaces. And if you choose to stay in those spaces, that's all you will have. Why do I not have very many friends? Because I choose to only be in spaces where the friendship is at such a depth that they're my family. That's why. Over the years, I've had quite a few people who have wanted to be my friend. And what they mean by friend is benefit from whatever they can benefit from me. Will I call them users? Um, it's within human norms to have wants and desires. And if you can see how your wants and desires can be fulfilled in specific connections and specific environments, that doesn't make you a bad person. However, if your wants and desires are in complete contradiction to the health and welfare of the person who you see can be used as a conduit to get that, that's fucked up. That's fucked up. That then makes you a user. Yeah. So it really depends. So when we enter into that mindset, I'm kind of the mindset where if I identify you as the latter type of person, I'm good. I don't need friends. I'm actually really good just by myself. And the handful of friends that I have right now, they're like the rainbow sprinkles on top of the ice cream. They just enhance everything that I've already cultivated inside me and around me. And the people that I call friends, there's absolutely no competition, there's no comparison, there's nothing. It's just this mutual desire for both of us to succeed, for both of us to feel love, to feel peace, to just be supported. So I don't bring my friends online. I don't bring my friends onto live streams. I almost never even acknowledge that they're present in live streams. Their connection to me is completely separate from my work. They're not my friend because of, and I don't know why people think this, like, I can't put you on the map. I'm not a big content creator. I have a wide reach, but these are people who are like within themselves working on life. I don't know what you think I'm going to do for you. I don't know. I'm a stay-at-home mom and I happen to live stream and I do private sessions. I'm not some marketing guru. I'm not someone who can put you on social media and create a platform for you. I'm not interested in doing that either. Why? Because I came to a massive realization. Firefly, I miss you. I missed you. I came to the realization that when I do that, something changes and it creates a lot of problems. Problems that can be avoided if I simply just be a friend rather than a promoter. You see, this is about taking accountability. If you don't like the types of connections that you are developing, rather than pointing at everyone else, oh, you used me and you used me and you treated me bad and you treated me bad, I realized, okay, what's happening here? It's happened several times. I'm obviously the common denominator there. What is it? Is there something inside me, a mindset, a perception of myself that is inviting this type of connection? And I realized there was. I was inviting it. Why? Well, because there were insecurities that I didn't want to address, abandonment issues, um, fear of rejection, right? Hyper awareness of how different I am than most people. That one's a big one. Lack of awareness of my actual value. And so what was happening, all of these different types of insecurities that I didn't want to address, they were causing me to continue to choose behavioral patterns that would create codependency. And because I'm so good at making people feel good about themselves, supporting you and loving you, certain types of people get very comfortable in that space. And when they get comfortable, the truth of what they actually want from you then begins to be presented to you. And if you don't correct it at that point, it becomes a big problem. It becomes a big problem. I had to learn not everyone has a heart like mine. And it's not to say that my heart and the way I function is superior. It's to say that there is a marked difference. And I have to be aware of the way that difference plays out in certain types of connections. For example, I have no desire to see others fail. Like when something good happens for you, I literally celebrate that like it happened to me. Like, this is a huge deal. Let's celebrate this. This is wonderful. Right? I have no desire to be above you or any of that. Like, I want us to be shoulder to shoulder. And then there's this other aspect of me that kind of is just like, I feel like we're all super duper important in this co-created semi-reality that we exist in. So with that, for me, when I say like, yeah, no, we're equally powerful, that doesn't mean we have the same skill set. Do you see where this is going? This is going somewhere. So when I begin to encourage people and like, oh yeah, these are the ways in which our energy is similar. And I don't really talk about how our energies are different. I just talk about the similarities and I talk about how we all have that potential. We cultivate that potential, we foster it, it blossoms and grows, and oh my God, life becomes really beautiful. So I'll say this to people, not to inspire them, but because I truly believe this and I see that this is something that reverberates within their field. So that there is that already existing. And then they'll do something completely left field with it. They'll get it in their head. Oh, I'm just like Emmy. She said it. She said I'm powerful. That means I'm going to do extractions and I'm going to be like a demon slayer. And oh shit, I'm badass. You probably are badass. That doesn't mean you're me. That doesn't mean you have the same skill set that I have. And they won't have these conversations with me. Because if they did, I'd be like, I don't know about the whole extraction thing. I don't think you're geared to be exposing yourself to demonic shit day in and day out. So then they'll do that. They'll have in their head that they're me and have the same skill set as me. Just because I say you're powerful doesn't mean you're powerful to the same depth of intensity that I am. I don't compare. That's a standalone statement. You are powerful. You are powerful and carefully calibrated for whatever your purpose is. Part of my purpose involves manhandling demons, which I'm good at. So then what happens after that? Well, they get infected. They get a parasitic circumstance. And then that parasite will fuel that imbalance and insecurity. You're more powerful than Emmy. She's just jealous of you. Jealous of you. I want you to succeed. What the fudge? Yeah. If you get rid of her, all those people will go to you instead. You just got to get rid of her. She's jealous. She didn't even earn that. Like, you can do so much better than what she's doing. And the next thing you know, I'm the fucking demon. And there's now groups that have been formed because we need to rid the world of Emmy, who stays in her lane and simply just loves people. That's how I let it in. See, I had to do quite a bit of digging in my aha moment. That massive realization was when I let myself finally actually fully feel exactly how far my soul is wanting me to go on that mountain called life. And it's all the way to the top. And some people might be like, oh my gosh, she's just saying this out of ego. No, I need to say that so you understand. I don't want to be there alone. I don't want to be there alone. Because to be at the top of the mountain alone gives me no space and no footing to turn my back to the reality of how different I am. And the tears come into play because it weighs heavy on my heart. That these people that I tried to drag up a mountain with me got gobbled up by the unseen. And that's on me. Because I knew they couldn't handle what I have to handle on a daily basis. And I shielded it from them. I shielded them from that. And it gave them a false sense of power that they didn't have. That's on me. No one else has to carry that but me, because I did that. I did that. I allowed them to think they could do what I do when I knew they couldn't. And I justified it by making a promise. I will always protect them. I will always shield them. It'll hit me before it hits them. Failing to realize they jumped into the pool of darkness while I wasn't looking. And they were consumed by it. That was their choice, but I led them to that pool and told them they could swim without making sure that they could. Maybe the first time it was a mistake. The second time, there was already an awareness. And the third time, and the fourth time, and every single other time. So at some point, it's no longer a mistake. At some point, it becomes a dirty little secret that's fueled by fear. Fear of what? Fear of failure? No. Fear of being witnessed succeeding by myself, because if I'm by myself, I can't pass that attention to someone else. And then comes another realization. Maybe that part of me doesn't need to be destroyed. It doesn't need to be put to sleep. It doesn't need to be attacked and villainized. Maybe that part of me that never allows me to see the actual greatness and profoundness of my nature and my words. Maybe it's not the enemy. Maybe it's part of the safety protocol to make sure that I never forget my proper place, which is a place of service to others. And when you begin to realize those things, you begin to understand where your point of center is. And once you reach that point of center, you no longer have to put effort into balancing, because by virtue of your centeredness, balance is a byproduct. Everything pulling you from center. These big problems that you feel are big problems, are they big problems? Or are they opportunities to see yourself from different perspectives, through different eyes, at different heights and depths of existence? I don't know. It really depends on how you allow yourself to receive it, because really, if you're ready to grow, if you're ready to rise in your awareness of yourself and your actual value and purpose, we all came into this life with a purpose. And no, not everyone is here to save the world. As a matter of fact, if you want full disclosure, full transparency, none of us are here to save anything. We're simply here to experience the things that can only be experienced in human form. That's why we're here. And some of us have another layer of reasoning as to why we're here. It's to correct an imbalance that was created at other points in our life. And no, karmic load is not punishment. These are frozen lessons. They're simply paused in the world, not of the world. We're so focused on being spiritual, failing to realize we already are. And we're so focused on being spiritual because what? Because then it gives us some sort of value to other people. It gives us some sort of value on social media. We're so focused on that, we forget that we're also needing to be human. And your primary mission for this life is to be a human. Go pick any spiritual content creator, spiritual influencer, spiritualist on social media and ask them what they are. Oh, they'll go through an entire list of, oh, I'm a star seed, I'm Pleiadian, I'm from Orion, I'm Syrian, I'm a Blu-ray, I am this, I am that, ascended master, number, path, life, something or other. But what's the most important? Identity. And at no point will they say human. Why? Because the one thing you're tasked to do in this life and really be fully present for is human. It's human. These things that we have such disdain over. Oh, we're so over it. Oh my God, being human is so hard. There's so much suffering, which there is, and that is hard. Oh my gosh, there's so much density. There's so much this, there's so much that. Right. That's part of being human. You don't experience that as a soul. People wonder, oh, if God is real, how come God allows suffering? How come God allows this? How come God allows that? Because this is the only place you can experience that. And once you experience that, you become very aware on such a profound level and scale. Did you know that when you juxtapose things that are seemingly opposing in their polarity, you get a better idea of what each one is? You don't really know what the light is until you juxtapose it beside the darkness and the shadow. And you don't really know what the shadow is until you expose it to the light and it becomes displaced. It's how we learn. We learn by exposure to opposing polarities, whether it's circumstance, people, mindsets, energy, frequency, it doesn't matter. You don't know the full spectrum that you exist on until you experience the opposing polarities within that one singular spectrum. Do we know what love is? Do we know what hate is? Are they opposites? Some people will say yes, wrong. They exist on the same plane of emotion and mental state. No, they're opposing. They're opposing in their positioning within that spectrum, but they're the same thing, just positioned differently. No, Emmy, hate is the opposite of love. There's quite a few people that I can think of that think I hate them, but I don't hate them. Why? There's no way you can't hate them because they did you so dirty, Emmy. I don't hate them because I never loved them. I'm kind of just like, yeah, that person. You hate them? Not really. I'm kind of just like, well, I'm not going to talk to you. You don't really have a good character. So, no, thank you. You have to hate them. They did you so dirty. They stole from you. They lied about you. Yeah, that's why I don't want them around me. But do I hate them? I mean, I didn't love them to begin with. So I don't really feel that hate. It's kind of just like this ambivalence, like they exist, just don't exist by me. Because I know the type of drama you create. I don't want that around me. Hate and love. So you hate someone and then you get to know them and, their little quirks kind of bump you a little bit in that direction. Kind of bump you. They're not so bad. Bump, bump, bump. Oh, they're kind of funny. I didn't realize most of the stuff that was irritating me, they were jokes. I didn't realize that. Bump, bump, bump. Oh, I kind of like them. They're so hilarious and they're so fun to be around. And like, oh my gosh. Bump, bump, bump. Oh, I love them. You just slid down the scale. That spectrum, you slid down the spectrum. It's the same thing. They're just opposing positions within a singular space of potentiality. Diving for light. You need to allow yourself to go deep within yourself, to reacquaint yourself with the actuality of your light. This surface level, oh, I'm light, I'm love, all of that's all artificial, superficial stuff. Yes. If you want the reality of your purpose, your truth, all of that, you got to go dive deep for that light. Legacy of light, but it's in reverse. I think for many of us, we are afraid to dive into that depth of shadow because we don't know if there will be light there waiting for us. You've forgotten that you come from a legacy of light. You're made of alternating layers of light and shadow, light and shadow, light and shadow, and then it becomes compressed. The light and the shadow are at opposing 90-degree spins. They're rotated 90 degree by 90 degree in opposing directions. And that creates the actual fabric of your perceived existence. So it's layer after layer after layer. Notice how I'm not, it would crumble, they would fall apart. It's layer after layer after layer, 90 degrees, so that it interconnects, it crosses, and there's no falling through. And that, when compressed by virtue of awareness or lack thereof, it's based on your apartheid filter calibration. That then gives you the perception of a solidified, individuated identity. We're all a singular consciousness. We're just being allowed to perceive ourselves as separate from each other. People think they know what I teach. That's not even the basics of what I teach. And no, nobody taught me any of this. I came into this life literally with this awareness. Why do you think I've pretty much been alone my whole life, outside of my husband and my children? I'm aware of how different I am. And that difference is based on my level of awareness, my ability to recall things that are no longer written about, things that have been hidden away to keep us separated, to keep us in spaces of competing and comparing with each other. How can you tell when someone is evolved and of a high frequency? They have no desire to compete or compare. If there's something that rubs them wrong, they just leave it alone. They don't need to destroy it. They don't need to attack it. They just leave it alone. And then they carry forward. If you are consuming the content of any spiritualist, spiritual person, light worker, I don't know what they call themselves. I'm not part of any of those things. And they attack other people. They make it a point to send their community to harass and bully a specific person that they've determined needs to be harassed and bullied. That's not an evolved person at all. They're just really good at regurgitating. So then you have to ask yourself, where are they getting this information from? Because there's a high likelihood they're cosplaying other people who actually do reverberate at that degree of awareness. That's up to you guys. The perfection of your life in reverse. You no longer have to pretend that your life is perfect. You no longer have to pretend that everything is going in the way that you wanted, that you're manifesting and you're a master at this and master at that. You just need to be present. But what if people think they're going to think whatever they think anyways? With or without you, people are going to think about you whatever they choose to think about you. Has nothing to do with you. Mm-hmm. I don't know who I'm quoting, but there's this quote that says, other people's opinions of you is none of your business. It's true. Other people's opinions of you is none of your business, because it really has nothing to do with you at all. At all. I don't know who said that quote, but I'm not one to regurgitate things and then present it as though it was my own unique original thought. No. I'm not here to pretend to be something I'm not. If you can give credit even though you don't know who said the words, you then begin to exit out of that space where you're accusing yourself of being an imposter. It's a whole psychological condition called imposter syndrome, where you think you're a faker and this and that. That's why if I ever say something that came from someone else, I say oh, I heard somewhere, I saw somewhere. I make it very, very clear those were not my words, but it did trigger a thought process within me. And I got to tell you this part that inspired me so that I could share this part and have it be received in the context that's appropriate for what I'm sharing. That's how I single-handedly began to erode some of that imposter syndrome that I've struggled with my whole life. You see, people see me as someone that is confident, and I don't see myself as confident. Why? Because I'm aware of the insecurities that still exist. But those insecurities are not debilitating because why? Because I'm aware everyone has insecurities, and those insecurities were never part of my actual worth. How did I get there? Because I allowed myself to have realization after realization after realization without attacking myself for not knowing before the point that I knew. That's crazy, right? You're going to attack yourself and shame yourself for not knowing something before the point that you became aware of it. The fudge? Serious? Right. So there's events in your life that you're so ashamed of because when you think about it, when you talk about it, you're afraid of other people finding out because why? Because, oh my God, that was so stupid. Oh my God. How did you know that was stupid to exist in that way? Oh, because that event that you thought was stupid? But see, that's the event that taught you how stupid that was to continue doing that. And once you experience that and realize that, you stopped that, right? Okay, so how's that stupid? That's a profound learning opportunity. You have to release your allegiance to these programs and these people who expect perfection from you. They expect you to put this very polished facade. Why? Because fake it till you make it. Faking it to make it is still faking it. And people will be like, no, you don't understand what it means. I know exactly what it means. You're pretending to be something that you're not until you believe it and everyone who witnesses you believes that you are. It's still faking it. Why is it so bad to see things in the reality of what it is? It's still faking it. So, what's a healthier way to approach that? Do it until you are it. Keep plugging away and plugging away and plugging away until you become the very thing you're trying to be. So, when I first was publicly visible, did I fake being a public speaker until I became a public speaker? No. I kept speaking publicly until I became so comfortable speaking publicly that I no longer have shame expressing myself in the totality of my thoughts with complete strangers online, not knowing who's going to watch it, and not caring what people think when they see it. So am I faking being a public speaker, or am I simply just a public speaker? Because I speak so much in public via live streams, and I've had all of these excuses as to why I'm not what I actually am, right? Oh, people, I'm comfortable speaking to all of you, these profound thought, and I say profound because I don't think they're profound. To me, it's kind of just like, this is how my brain functions. These profound thoughts, because I'm all alone in a room speaking to a green dot that's on my monitor. It's the camera indicator. It's letting me know the camera is on. That's why I'm comfortable, because I'm all by myself, and I would never say these things in front of other people because, oh my God, I would be so embarrassed. But in reality, no, I'm not. I'm not embarrassed. I'm not ashamed. This is how I think. This is how I see the world. And it's not the end all be all, but it's where I stand. And I'm not comfortable speaking because I'm alone in a room. I'm comfortable speaking because I'm finally comfortable being who I am. Turns out I'm not socially awkward. Turns out all those years I self-identified as socially awkward. I was just very uncomfortable being a shrunken down, wilted version of myself so people wouldn't get offended by the fact that I have a purpose and that purpose involves being witnessed and heard. Because I'm right? No, because I think and see the world differently than most people. And if you can witness me seeing things differently and I am okay in my differences, maybe you can then give yourself permission to bow out of that program and finally be yourself as well. Will be a copy of me? Absolutely not. I have issues too. I do. Yeah. No, be yourself. That's the whole point, to be yourself. You witness me being myself, you then feel comfortable being yourself. Ain't that something? Just what? But I'm just me. I mean, that's the whole mother freaking point. You are you. That's all you're being asked to do. Did I have to take classes to be this person? No. I allowed life to happen to me and then I observed what was happening as life occurred. I learned and I implemented what I learned until I became who I am right now, which is who? The person that I've always been before I was convinced to be someone else. Yeah, the things I say right now, I used to say these things as a kid. If you think I speak in a rather articulate manner, could you imagine the way I spoke as a kid? My vernacular was much more robust as a child than it is now. I've learned to remove certain words because people look at me weird, like using the word vernacular. A lot of people don't use that word. Why? It's so efficient to use it in that way. It's efficient. I'm about efficiency. I'm not about trying to sound smart. I'm about being efficient in the way I communicate. Well, for a while I wasn't. I wasn't efficient in my communication. Why? Because my environment made me think it was embarrassing the way I speak. This is, even now, still a modified version of the way I actually speak. My candor has been adjusted. My chosen words have been adjusted. And they're being adjusted back slowly. As you peel the onion, tears are inevitable. And maybe sometimes we have to cry as we peel back the layers of programs so the tears can cleanse our vision of who we are. Not just because we hurt, but after the tears, we're then afforded the opportunity to see ourselves clearly. You've washed away all the muck that's been thrown in your eyes. Your visions of life beyond death become this awareness that at no point were you ever really destroyed. It was just characters that you played to appease the people who were uncomfortable witnessing you in your naturally profound state. Ain't that something? So what did you do in response to that? You beat yourself up. You depleted yourself. You played small. You played dumb. You played all these different characters that were such a disrespect to the true nature of your authentic self. For what? For what? For nothing. For nothing. I was told in 2016 that I needed to start an academy of some type and teach the things that I know. That was so hard. That was so hard. And even till now, I struggle with being called a teacher, but is that even the reality of what I am? At the degree that I teach, the more appropriate term is a professor. Why did I hesitate so long to teach what it is I actually teach? Well, because it basically requires me using words that most people are not familiar with. And then people get weirded out. And when people get weirded out, then I begin to shrink myself because, oh my God, I'm being weird again. Am I being weird? Or am I using the appropriate language? See, people who used to know me back then, they thought they knew me, but they didn't because I hid so much about myself, the actuality of the things that I know. And then they thought, because I was intentionally shrinking myself and they thought that that was me, they thought that they could try and harm me in some way. And then eventually I walked away from that stuff. And then when I switched over to TikTok, they found me again, right? They found me again. And what happened? They thought I was still the same person that walked away from them. That was such a shrunken version of me. They have no idea of my actuality. The world still doesn't. I've only shown a fraction, a small fraction of my true potentiality. Why? Because, I don't see why I would need to show the other things. But I remember it was some time ago, someone was trying to have this conversation with me. And it was a thing of once upon a time, they were using the words that I was afraid to use because it made people feel uncomfortable. It made people feel uncomfortable. So it gave them a sense of superiority over me, which I wasn't going to correct it. You can feel whatever you feel in comparison to me. That's fine. I'm not competing with you, so I don't need to be like, hey, hold a minute, right? No, it's none of that. So then they crossed my path again. And it turns out I actually am much better versed in their field of work than they realize. And I began speaking to them because I knew they understood the verbiage. I used the verbiage. And it was a statement somewhere along the lines of, have you ever considered the multi-generational effects of molecular compaction by way of mitochondria? Maybe if you were to correct the distorted cellular expression that's contained within the mitochondria, you could then begin to mitigate the negative effects of ancestral emotional baggage. And they're like, what? Have you ever looked at the mitochondria? That was their response. Well, the work that you do, you're like fixing trauma, right? And yes, it's stored in the fascia. But if you look at what the fascia wraps around, there's a lot of cellular material. So the trauma is not actually stored in the fascia. It's stored in the musculature, which is then wrapped by the fascia. Why is the musculature wrapped in fascia? So that every aspect of you and every storage space contained within your physicality can be communicated to your morphogenetic template. Your soul knows everything about you, no matter how much you hide it from your human self. It knows exactly where that pain is stored and exactly how to retrieve it. I think maybe your aha moment is what? Realizing that you have everything you could possibly need in this lifetime. You already have it all. And the process that you're in is to simply retrieve what already lives inside you. What is it that lives inside you? Every answer to every question you will ever ask while in this form. Every answer to every question you will ever ask while you are in this form. You want to find the answers? Look inside yourself. But this time, take off the goggles that distort your view of who you are and how you function. Society would convince you you're a survivor, and that's something to celebrate. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. To identify as a survivor is to identify that someone had the authority to impress upon you against your will an event, an experience, a thought, a perception. And it was designed to destroy you, but they fell short of that task. And so now you're the byproduct of someone's failure. I'm not a fucking survivor. I am not a byproduct of someone's failed attempt to destroy me. I will never identify as someone's victim or survivor. Why? Because I'm not. I'm not. Can we squeeze trauma by weight training? Theoretically, you can, because when you move those muscles, it creates an expansion and contraction of that material. So there is the potential that, and it also creates micro tears depending on how heavy you lift and what you're capable of lifting. So if you do that, theoretically, the micro tears can begin to release some of the stored traumas, stored memories, and then you can begin processing that. But you have to be careful about that, because if you do the workout strictly to release the trauma, that's kind of forcing and rushing your process versus working out just to work out and burn up all the excess energy that is creating further distortion. And then trusting your soul to bring to the surface, to bring to your field of awareness, the traumas that you've finally developed the appropriate level of maturity to begin processing. So typically when humans go through their ascension mechanics and also development of their human portion of their consciousness, the intellectual portion of your consciousness, it typically will develop and mature faster than the emotional. And that's so you can have the intellect, the level of intellect that's necessary to begin processing all of those emotions that are connected to the traumas. So would I use working out specifically to push an ascension mechanic? You probably injure yourself. You probably would, because what will happen is you're so focused on one thing that you're not paying attention to the other. You probably won't pay attention to your form. Most people, unless they have like unmedicated raging ADHD, which I do, unless they have raging unmedicated ADHD, what ends up happening is they can only focus on a certain amount of things. So for me, I can hyperfixate not just on my ascension mechanics, I can hyperfixate simultaneously on my fascia, muscular movement, the ergonomics of my movement, the positioning, even down to my spine and pelvis. I'll factor all of that in, and then I'll also be hyperfixated on the energetic effects and the way my standing scalar wave is being repatterned as I do this with full thought and focus. Those are like a lot of things to focus on, but because that's how my brain functions, it's like easy peasy to me. So, are you saying that it's the breakdown and buildup can release trauma? I'm saying there's a potentiality that it can, but how able is what is being released by your muscle tissue to be registering on your field of awareness? Because you can release all the traumas you want, and that's how you get soreness, injury, inflammation, and those type of things. The inflammation that you experience, sometimes it will be a release of trauma, and your body is trying to contain it. So it will create inflammation to contain that acute release of trauma. So I have this theory. I don't know anyone else. I haven't come across anyone else with this theory. There's a percentage of people, and they're typically highly empathic and have a lot of repressed, suppressed emotion. And when they receive a, what is it called? Charged, clear. What is that thing called? I forget the name of it. Oh my God. How do you forget the name of it and you're certified in that? Whatever the hell it's called. They put the electrodes on your torso in a specific way. And defibrillator, thank you. Thank you, the defibrillator. So when they send that massive electric charge through your biological matter, what that does is it allows for a release, rapid release of trauma. And then once that's released, where is it going to go? Well, it's going to go to the source where the electricity was first pulsed through you. It's your torso. Your torso. Yes. So then what happens? Well, with those people, because of the amount of released trauma and its acute circumstance, and all of that trauma has been compressed due to suppression, it then causes them to enter into cardiogenic shock. So modern science cannot explain what cardiogenic shock is. They don't know how to prevent it, and all of these things is kind of just like they know once that starts, and it's because there's a specific set of symptoms. The heart function will continue to decrease, usually by half every hour or however amount of time. So then eventually you will then go into a cardiac event that is irreversible and you're gone. Once cardiogenic shock starts, you can't undo it. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. How do I know this? How do I know this about defibrillators and empaths? My mother died of cardiogenic shock. They used the defibrillator on her, and that released a lifetime of trauma. And then I was kept away so that I couldn't interfere. And then she was gone. I learned extremely profound things about human nature, physiology, and biology through very traumatic life events. Because if I'm going to go through that trauma, it has to count for something. It has to count for something. And if I'm going to lose as much as I've lost, it has to be worth it. And even if I can't see it in the moment, I will dig and dig and dig until I find something that will stay with me for the rest of my life. And I will use that thing that I find to help as many people as I can. Because with each person that I'm able to help, it justifies what my mom gave up so I could learn that. And helping people is a way I show my gratitude for what she gave so I could learn. So people can say whatever they want and have whatever perception they want of me. I know the person that I am. I know my intentions and I know how I use my gifts. I know what I've gone through to cultivate those gifts. And every price that I've paid when I use my gifts that I've paid dearly to cultivate, when I use it to help someone else, whether I get paid for it or not, it makes the experience worth it. And there will never be enough people in this world that I can help, one at a time or regions simultaneously, that will exhaust my gratitude for the knowledge that life and life's experiences have granted me. I will always have gratitude, including for the ugly people who create ugly circumstance, because then in those moments, I get reminded of what I'm not, and I'm grateful that I'm not. I'm grateful that I will never understand why people do ugly things to other people, especially with zero provocation. I will never understand it, and I'm grateful, because to never be able to understand the ugliness of someone's heart tells me that's not how my heart was made. I don't do that to people. And it doesn't make me weak. It simply is evidence of my awareness. We all have the capacity to be ugly. We all have the capacity to be hurtful and harmful to others intentionally for our benefit. And I'm just grateful that I will never know what that's like, because I will never function in that way. And maybe that's why you experience all the things that you do. That juxtaposition of who you are versus who you're not. Every time I need a reminder, because it's so easy to forget the goodness of you, right? It's your norm. What's so special about it? Life will find a way to remind you. That's how I see these circumstances where people try me. Life is reminding me of the actual beauty of who I am, how I am, and that I truly have nothing left to be ashamed of. This is a good time to go. I need to eat. And I've been live for 2 hours. Oh my goodness, 2 hours. I just barely looked at the time now. I hope this conversation gives people who needs the comfort that they're seeking. And for those who need some type of validation in regards to the actuality of how you are and who you are, I hope you see me as a mirror of the goodness that you are. Not because I need you to see me as good, but because I need you to see you're not alone. You're not the only one. And humanity, as ugly as things are in the world right now, this is the process we go through to remember the power we have over ourselves. Years ago, I made this analogy. You and your life are like the bow and arrow. In order to be launched forward, the bow must be stretched and the arrow pulled back. Right? You think you're backsliding, you think you're failing. In reality, a charge is being loaded. What do you have to do? Because that's what I hear most of the time. People asking, like, what do I have to do? What should I do? I mean, what should I do? My life is falling apart. I'm being pulled back, and there's so much tension and so much stress. I don't know what to do. Let go. Aim and let go. What do you mean, let go? You're the arrow. You want to be launched forward, you have to first be pulled back. Let go. Well, then what's going to happen? You're going to be launched forward. Further than you could throw yourself, you will be launched forward with increased velocity. Let go. I don't know how to let go. Babe, you're not just the arrow, you're not just the bow, you're also the hand that's controlling the entire thing. Aim and let go. That's all you got to do. Aim and let go. And your life will unfold in the ways it needs to, not in the way that you determine should be, but the ways that are necessary to cause an even deeper ripening. You have everything you need. Sometimes you forget and you need someone to remind you. And that's really all this is. This entire conversation has been nothing but a reminder of what already lives inside you. So I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation. If you didn't, that's unfortunate. Maybe one day you will. So I will see you guys again very soon. Ooh, I have an event. Thank you, Lindsay. I have an event. I don't know when. The 29th. I don't know. I'm sorry for yelling. I have an event coming up. It's the Abundance Amplifier event. This is a private event. It won't be broadcast publicly. So if you'd like to be part of this, this is where it's a 40-minute, 45-minute virtual meditation, and you'll be able to access the recording. And with this, we're going to be dilating all of those abundance pathways. We're going to be repairing quite a few different things. And for the enhanced ticket option, you'll be able to be part of a second event that takes place right after the first. And with that, I'm going to be doing 5 to 10, depending on what your soul wants. Activations, they can be as advanced as your soul wants. It's up to your soul. Whatever your soul asks me to do is what I will do. And that's an event that's coming up, I believe, on the 29th. If you want to learn more about it or get a ticket for it, simply go to the link in my bio on TikTok and look for Abundance Amplifier. Click on the Hubi link and then look for the Abundance Amplifier. And then for everyone else, because I'm live on, I don't know how many platforms, everyone else, simply go to the link in the comments or the QR code on the screen. You can click that and go to where that is. Let me pin this. Is that how you pin it? I think that's how you pin it. I'm not sure. Anyways, I'm going to get going. I hope you guys enjoyed this convo, and I hope to see you again. Bye, guys.